Joshua Ignla is not a genuine man of God. I know people are going to attack you. They're going to attack me. Me and you, we've never even met in person. I'm speaking to you because I've been following your channel and I've seen that there is nothing wrong that you're saying. You're very honest. And people don't like the truth. These prophets, they've broken up marriages. This is a scheme, what they're doing. In my life, I've lost family members who, when I told them about Joshua Ignla, they never believed me.
Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment episode of the Enlightenment series. Listen, on this chapter, I want to give you an interview that I did with this specific guy, the guy that we have all been waiting for, the testimonial that he gave me, which gives us a background information about the Nigerian adulterous, promiscuous charlatan called Joshua Ignla. This is the guy that has all the information that you have never heard anywhere, that he has never spoken to, that he has never spoken about with anyone. You are hearing it for the first time here. And to those of you that are still sticking their fingers in Ignla's shrine, this is the interview that I want you to pay attention to. I want you to listen attentively so that you can understand that when I come here and I start exposing this brood of vipers, these charlatans, these promiscuous, incompetent charlatans that are lying to people in the church of God, you will not think that I have a personal vendetta, or I'm just trying to fight, or I'm just trying to discredit the church of God, or I'm just trying to discredit the prophetic. I'm not fighting against the church. I'm fighting against the wolves that are leading the church. Well, these wolves, they've diverted the church of God into an entirely different route that was not intended by Christ. So in this testimonial, this interview that I did with this brother of mine, I don't want to preempt it to you right now. I just want you to listen. Listen and listen attentively. What you're going to basically be talking about is Ignla's promiscuous behavior and adulterous behavior. And Ignla came and lied about his ex-wife. He lied that the wife cheated. He lied that the reason why he left the wife is because the wife had cheated. And the masses believed him. Who is Yemis? Who is Ignla's ex-wife when it comes to fighting a man like Ignla who has a lot of followers? Of course, most of the followers, they'll just cloud the side of the story that can come from Ignla's ex-wife. No one will pay attention to her. She does not have an audience. She doesn't have a platform. No one will ever take her story serious. But when Ignla comes and says the wife cheated, she had a child with someone else while they were still married, all the gullibles will believe Ignla because Ignla has a channel. And there's a lot of gullible followers that are just waiting to hear his side of the story. And they'll just take and run with that side of the story without analyzing or trying to understand what happened to the wife. The wife was just a victim. Ignla had been having a relationship with Stella for the longest time ever. They had let me not tell you about what's going to be said here, because if it comes from my mouth, you think it's just my ideas and opinions. I want you to listen to the guy that worked with Ignla, to the guy that had an experience with Joshua Ignla from the inception of Joshua Ignla's shrine here in South Africa. So that when you gullibles, when some of you start to come and try to defend these charlatans, you must know what you're defending. Don't just defend what you don't know. No, Joshua Ignla, he told us the side of the story. No, it's an old story. It's not an old story until it has been resolved and analyzed by neutral people like us who are against charlatanism. The side of the story that you heard was biased, was a lie. It was Ignla lying to you so that he can cover up his image. He came to you and then he said, I'm sorry to his church. I cheated. He did not cheat. He did not cheat. He was adulterous all the way from the beginning and no one knew about it. Now listen to the confession without further ado so that we can put this nail to Ignla's top of the head, center of the head, and people stop following Joshua Ignla. He's promiscuous and adulterous and he's a charlatan, false prophet of naught. Listen to the confession, listen to the testimonial, to the interview of someone that knows Ignla that deep. And the other part that you must listen to is how he practices his occultism. And all the people that have been receiving from Joshua Ignla, this is an enlightenment episode which will help you understand Ignla's source of power. He consults traditional healers. He consults sangomas and he gets some sort of oil from sangomas, which he uses and force people to fall down. That's not the Holy Spirit that Ignla uses. It's not. In fact, listen for yourself. Mr. Pull the Trigger. Check you out on the next episode.
Going forward, my brother, I grew up in the church.
Yes.
And any problem that I faced in my life, I've always believed in God. And I stayed in Polokwane for some years. And my story is like this. I met a lady who, at the time, she said she was a prophetess.
Mm-hmm.
And even myself, I believed in her. I was, when you're in pursuit of Christ, when you're in pursuit of God, wanting to have a relationship and fellowship with God. So after meeting the lady, we, of course, as Christians, you don't get into a relationship without having an ideology or even the desire to marry. The desire to marry the woman as the prophetess of God, according to her.
Mm.
So through her, I met a lot of people, right? I met the Bushiris, I met the Joshua Ignla. I also met this guy in Zimbabwe,
Magaya,
yes, because she was a woman who would go to all of these prophetic churches. But when you love a person, you would follow the person wherever they go. Also with me, I was in pursuit of these prophets through her. However, there was a time when Joshua Ignla came to Polokwane. To one, he's got a son in Polokwane. I just forgot the name of the guy, but he's got a church in Polokwane. Joshua Ignla came to Polokwane, and look, we attended all the services to an extent whereby, I used to believe in Joshua Ignla. I believed so much in Joshua Ignla that I remember we went to see Joshua Ignla at a hotel that he was sleeping in Polokwane. There was a queue. So we managed to go into the room where Joshua Ignla was sleeping. And then we met the man of God in the room, me and the lady that I'm in the relationship with. Look, we spoke and nothing funny happened. But however, because we believed in the man so much, and when Joshua Ignla left for Nigeria, we then went to the hotel in Polokwane and said, would love to buy the towels that the man of God was using, because when the following morning when the man of God left, I'm saying this just to show you how much we believed in Joshua Ignla. Now, the person that was connecting us to Joshua Ignla, there was a mother, I wouldn't want to mention her name, but I met her, she's a vendor woman. I met her through my fiance at the time. So when I met this lady through my fiance, and then Joshua Ignla had come to Polokwane for a crusade. It was a crusade that this man of God was doing. But this mama was close to this woman of God and also close to my fiance at the time. Fair enough, we went to the hotel, we bought all the towels. You are believing God to say, I'm going to use the towel that the man of God used. I'm saying this so that you can understand where I'm coming from. I believed in the man of God. Fair enough. In one of his services in Nigeria, he said, some people, they believe in me to an extent that they can even go and buy the towels that I was using in hotels I go, because they had to tell him that there were people who actually bought towels. We are believing God. This is a man of God. You don't hear anything. You understand?
Wait, my brother. The towels you went to buy are not the first towels, are the towels, the drying towels that the person was using in the hotel.
In the hotel.
Like the towels that we use after we bath, we take those towels and those are the ones you went to buy.
I remember he even left in the hotel, he even left a shaving, it was a shaving, the shaving machine, the shaving stick. He left a lot of things, personal things. We bought all of those things. Look, we are believing in the anointing.
Yeah. Yo. Yeah, ne?
I don't want to say that I was naive, but I believed in the anointing.
In the anointing. No, I understand, my brother.
Whoever, I'm not going to mention my name, but whoever can hear what I'm saying from Pulukwane and whoever will listen to this interview, they will automatically know who is talking to you. I won't mention my name. But anyway, let's move forward. And then after, because the lady I'm with, she used to go to Bushiri, she used to go to all of these churches. Look, we're all over. I don't lie to you. Fair enough. The lady that was close to the pastor in Polokwane and close to Joshua Ignla was helping Shepherd Bushiri in his ministry, because she was also all over. This is a vendor woman. She was also all over. I mean, the relationship with this lady who is also a vendor woman. Vendor people know each other. Fair enough. The lady, the umama, now flies to Nigeria to attend one of the conferences of Joshua Ignla in Nigeria. Because I've been in the events. I grew up in the events, my brother. I've been doing events all of my life. So I've got an events business. We supply sound. We do all of those things. We've done a lot of events for churches and for pastors, be it's a birthday, be it it's a wedding, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Mama goes to I call her Mama. She goes to Nigeria to attend Joshua Ignla's one of the events in Nigeria there. It was a program. Look, I'm in South Africa. I'm with my fiance. We are believing God for access, even just to have more access to this man of God. So you can understand, we've bought towels, we've believed in this man of God. I say that so that you can understand the level of the belief.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. One of the good days, I think I was in Polokwane. Mama calls me and says, my son, where are you? I said, Mama, I'm in Polokwane. She says to me, my son, you're not going to believe. I'm with a man of God. Prophet Joshua Ignla, brother Joshua. They called him Joshua, brother. He never uses this fancy name. He uses himself as a brother, Joshua Ignla. And I'm like, oh, okay, Mama. Look, I'm shocked. Remember the level of my belief. Oh, okay, Mama. He would love to talk to you. And I'm like, wow, the man of God wants to talk to me. Okay, fine. Let me speak to the man of God. What does he want to talk about? Mama says, I've told the man of God about what you did with your fiance in the hotel, buying all of the towels and whatever was in the room. And I've told him that there's people that believe in your ministry. But this is my son who is into the events industry. Speak to him. If you want to start a branch in Johannesburg, he will help you. At the time, there was already a church for him in Joburg, downtown. I think there was a pastor that was pastoring there, because there was a time after that we went to the church in Joburg, but it was not an established branch type of thing. It was not officially launched, you know. So fair enough. I said, okay, fine. Let me speak to the man of God. My brother, when I spoke to the man of God, I was literally kneeling down. That was the level of the belief. Man of God, how are you? My son, how are you? I've heard good things about you, and I want to come and launch the ministry officially in South Africa. At the time that the branch, I think it was downtown Joburg, not far from Selby. I want to come and launch the church officially. Where this branch is in Joburg, it's not a conducive place, and I want a bigger place because I want to come and launch it officially. Want to advertise even on their channel. Okay, man of God, what do you want me to do? Then he says, I've got a daughter that I want to connect you with in Joburg. And this daughter you're going to work with, find me a bigger venue, possibly 5,000 squares. I mean, if you know if it's 5,000 squares, a square meter in a church takes about 2 people. That means it takes 10,000 people. So he said about 5,000 squares because I'm expecting about 10,000 people. Give me locations, and then he says to me, I'm going to take your number from Umama, and I'll give to my daughter in South Africa to give you a call. Then you can meet with her. Then you start all the arrangements. About the money, don't worry, because my daughter there, I've resourced her enough. Underline my daughter, right?
My daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll be waiting for the call from your daughter. Man of God, thank you so much. And you know, my son, don't think about money. You're going to be blessed. This is the work of God. Do your work and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. Look, I believed it, right? When you are speaking to someone that you have been listening to preaching, you know the voice. And I could hear, this is Brother Joshua Ignla speaking. Fair enough. The following day, I receive a phone call. Look, I'm expecting a phone call. So every call that is coming on my phone, I'm literally picking it up. The following day, I receive a phone call from a lady. She says, I'm Joshua Ignla's daughter in South Africa. My name is Stella. Where are you? And I said, I'm in Polokwane, but I can drive and come to Joburg.
Wait, she said fine. Her name is what? Her name is Taylor.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Can you drive and come to Joburg? I'm like, okay, it's fine, I can come. I mean, Polokwane Joburg for me was your 2.5 hours to 3 hours. I drove, I came, I met with her in Joburg. And I remember she was driving a black Mazda. You see, this it's not really a 4x4, but it was a Mazda type of thing. And then, fair enough, we met at the venue they were using as a small church in Joburg. We met, I parked my car, she says, come into my car. My brother, I want to be honest with you. She was, the lady I looked at the time was a very beautiful woman. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Then she says to me, Papa called me and said, I must call you, make arrangements with you, find a venue. You're going to supply us with sound. You're going to supply us with anything we need to make the launch of the church officially a success. We then drove around in Joburg. I mean, I was calling people about venues and all of those things. So eventually, we found a venue in the south. I think they're still there now. So we went there, we found the venue, the negotiations were done, payments were made. Money was never a problem because Stella was handling the money side of paying things. This is Papa's daughter, from what I've been told. Fair enough, we got the place, cleaning was done because there was a group of people that came to this small branch that was in Joburg. So cleaning of the venue was done. I also did my part as far as sound and whatnot is concerned. So at the time, I'm booked in a hotel in Malibongwe. From Malibongwe to the venue, it's your 15 minutes drive. So I'll be driving almost every day to the venue and coming back because remember I was based in Polokwane. Fair enough, we've put sound in the church. Papa is now coming for the launch because they were already advertising. So we're running against time. They're already advertising in their channel, and also a thing in South Africa, they're advertising that Papa is coming to do an official launch of the branch. Right? So things were done quick. One of the good days, I think it was a day before the launch of the event, I left the venue very late because we are setting up. Remember, Papa is supposed to land in the morning, in the evening, he's supposed to start preaching. I've done my part. I've put equipment, I've done everything. I'm driving from the venue to the lodge that I was sleeping in. I was at the road lodge in Malibongwe. I received a phone call from Umama. Mama is now back from Nigeria. Mama, the one that introduced me to Brother Joshua Ignla. My son, where are you? I said, Mama, I'm driving to the lodge. I'm going to sleep because it's late now. And then she says to me, yo, there's a problem. I'm like, what is the problem, Mama? We've done everything in the church. Look, when you're dealing with a person like Joshua Ignla, this is a big person. You don't expect funny problems. Mama, what is the problem? Papa has been deported. He's waiting for the next plane to go back to Nigeria. Papa is being deported. Why? My son, where are you? I said, I'm going to Malibongwe. She says to me, let's meet. I met with Mama that night. My son, can you find people that can help us just to bring Papa into the country? That is in South Africa. Look, my brother, to be honest with you, because I run an events business, I know a lot of politicians and I know a lot of people. I managed to get someone, I won't mention names because they're in government. I managed to get someone. They said, okay, fine, because it's already late, Papa is being deported. Let him go to Nigeria. When he lands, let him come back in the next flight, back into South Africa. So Papa flew, Joshua Ignla flew to Nigeria on deportation. When he landed, coming back, I don't know how he did it in Nigeria, he came back. And then this government official said to me, we are going to wait for him at the airport. They took information. That was the information that was sent to me. And then I sent to these people. And then he landed into South Africa. To cut a long story short, we managed to bring him into the country. Through whatever ways we used, which I won't mention now because this is an interview. I don't want to put politicians in trouble.
Yeah, I get it.
So we brought the guy into the country. I was there when we brought him into the country. And now we did a convoy. Remember, it's already the day of the launch of the church when we flew in. Now, we drove to the church. He preached. On record, those that were there, they can see the video that me and one of the lady who helped him were made to stand up, were thanked in front of the church and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. But I was instructed to get an envelope from him that had his documents inside so that the following day the documents can be fixed properly, because apparently he had a fake visa. I couldn't believe that. You know, it's hard to believe. I mean, this is Papa. He's got money. You can't believe those kind of things. Because you would ask yourself and say, why would a man that is running such a big ministry get a fake visa? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Fair enough. In the office, Joshua Ignla gave me an envelope, a khaki envelope, so that they can fix his papers properly, because apparently they're fake visa. I get that envelope. The service is done. This is the first service of the day. I think it was about a 3-day service or so. For his launch of the church. I take the envelope. We finish. The place is locked. We put security just to keep the equipment in the church. I then left to the hotel to go and sleep. Look, you are so much exhausted because it's frustrating. You didn't expect these things to happen. You expected just to offer a service and then it ends there. You understand? So I'm in the hotel room. I'm like, no man, this envelope is not even closed. You know, when you take the lips of the envelope and you just tuck them in, you don't even put the saliva just to seal it. That's how the envelope was. Fair enough. Something in me said, open the envelope. So I opened the envelope. There was his passport, right? And there were 2 birth certificates, and there was a marriage certificate, and there was a copy of an ID. The marriage certificate was between Papa and Stella. And at the time, he was still married to the wife in Nigeria. Now, the other 2 birth certificates, it's Joshua Ignla Jr. and Lassis Ignla. Joshua and Lassis Ignla Jr. There are 2 birth certificates. So meaning that the kids in the process that I met with, because when we're looking for the venue, there was a time when Stella came with the kids and I saw the kids. And I asked, I said, are you married? She says, no, I'm married. My husband is in America.
That's Stella telling you that?
Yes. She was with the kids, the 2 boys. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, fine. It's one of those, maybe those men that are working in America, whatever. It was none of my business. But she was with 2 boys. So the same 2 boys that I saw the copy of their birth certificate, it was Joshua Ignla's kids. So the relationship of Joshua Ignla and Stella did not start 2-3 years ago. No. They have kids together, these people. That means that Joshua Ignla has been having an extramarital affair all along. So the divorce that he now comes out and starts saying that I'm divorcing my wife for whatever reason. No. He's protecting himself because the relationship between him and Stella has been there for long. How Stella and Joshua Ignla met, I don't know, but they are grown up kids.
And you saw their birth certificates?
I saw their birth certificates. In one of my emails, I'm going to look for them because I was said to scan those things and send them to a guy that was to fix this mess here, Joshua Ignla, the following day.
Yeah.
Mind you, at the time, I'm still in a relationship with a lady in Polokwane. When I told her this, she never believed me. She called off the relationship.
Because you had found out what you had found out, she decided to cancel.
Yes. But anyway, because I managed to speak her back into the relationship, we carried on with the relationship. But I told her about what I'd seen. So just to clear the air, Joshua Ignla's relationship with Stella, who happens to be the current wife, it didn't start after. It was a marital affair. He was in an affair while he was married.
Okay, so wait. So with Stella, they already had a marriage certificate, which means they had officially married here in South Africa.
Yes, it was a South African marriage certificate. Joshua Ignla was coming to South Africa secretly, all alone. And I don't know how they were not picking it up before. Maybe he was getting into trouble before. And he was finding himself into the country in whatever way. But he used to come because this marriage certificate was signed in Joburg.
Yeah.
So he used to come.
So the public announcement of the divorce was just a front to cover for his debt that he has been doing all along.
Yes. So even on the day that we drove from the airport to the church, then after that, we're like, can we escort the man of God to the hotel where he's going to sleep? It was just brushed off because he went and slept in Stella's house. And the hotel and say, no, we cannot tell you the location of the man of God where he's going to sleep because people are going to go there. Stella was there representing herself as a daughter. In one of the messages that day, he even preached and said, my daughter Stella. So shame, this woman who's the wife was just thrown under the bus.
She was thrown under the bus a long time ago.
A long time ago. That woman is just an innocent woman.
The pastor Yemis, the former wife.
Yes, she's just an innocent woman who really whatever they're accusing her for, she does not even. She never even did those things.
Do you know what?
So, however,
okay, it's fine. You can go on.
So imagine the disappointment that myself I had, having that kind of a trust in a man of God. Yeah. Now I have to find myself being disappointed like that. Now I call Mama who introduced me to Joshua Ignla. And I said, Mama, this is what I've discovered because there was a relationship between me and Mama. You know, that son and that mother and son relationship. Mama, this is what I've discovered. Mama and the lady I was with in the relationship, because these are vendor people, they decided on themselves to say, this boy is being used by the devil to fight the anointing. Are you listening? My brother, one of the most painful parts, and I'm going to say this, and I know Christians, they're going to attack you or me. Men are going through pain because of women who believes in these prophets. I went through pain, my brother. Being told I'm being used by the devil. That's what I went through. Mama, this is what I've seen. I've told your daughter. I don't know if your daughter told you. My son, when I are being used by the devil, and however I saw that my daughter was not good enough for you.
Wow.
At that time, I loved this woman. I'm willing to pay Lobola any time. Man of God, I then kept quiet. How can you fight a man who has a following of more than 10,000 people in South Africa and following of more than 30,000 people in Nigeria?
Where do you start?
Where do you start?
And who will listen?
And who will listen? I kept quiet. Mama and the lady kept on going to the church. I pulled back. In Mama going to the church in South Africa, because these prophets, they love doing programs. They love doing these international visitors, whereby you pay a lot of money, you go and meet with them. They say they're praying for you and nothing happens. So Mama is like a coordinator of South Africa. So she's in between Nigeria and South Africa. In one of her visits in Nigeria, Mama met with the prophet. I'll tell you how I know. Mama meets with the prophet, and the prophet says, since you are the coordinator in South Africa, we need to get you a phone that is not related to you, that is a church phone. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Mama was given a handset, which Ignla was using. Take this phone, this headset. When you get to South Africa, buy a SIM card. Use this phone. It's the SIM card we're going to be using to register all of our international visitors, because you are a coordinator. Right? Mama does that when she comes to South Africa. But because Joshua Ignla thought he deleted everything in the phone, Mama, in one in saving numbers of international visitors, because Mama was using a phone even during the time that we're busy launching the church. So they had to get a phone, because now her phone was becoming busy. You understand? Her personal phone. So they had to get a church phone. Because she was close to Joshua Ignla, they gave her a handset. Mama buys a SIM card and puts it inside. Mama goes to voice notes, she sees documents, what. Because the man of God, according to her, forgot to delete most of these things. So on the voice note, one of the voice notes, Mama listens to the voice notes. And in the voice note, it's like there's a rattle, you know, like a snake type of thing sound. It's scary one. And there's a man speaking in Nigerian language. Are you listening?
I'm with you.
This man is speaking, giving instructions, and the Mama could hear the response of Joshua Ignla to this man. So what Mama does, because the sound there is so scary. This is a sangoma. It's like a, you know, somebody speaking, and it was a scary sound. So Mama could automatically tell, no, this is a consultation here, sangoma. Because Mama Liana, before she was born again, she used to go to sangomas, according to what she told me. You understand? Fair enough. Mama goes to one of the Nigerian guys she knows, and they made the guy to listen to the voice note so that she can be interpreted to what they are saying because she's South African. Then the poor Nigerian guy does not know that Mama is connected to Joshua Ignla. She was clever about that. The poor Nigerian guy explains and says, no, this is the Sangoma who's giving an instruction to his client to say, whenever you go into church before you preach, put this oil in your head and on your hands. So that when you touch people, they will fall. When you come in, there's a certain level of power that you'll be having. You put this oil before you go into the church. You understand? This is the first interpretation. Mama goes to the next Nigerian guy. These two Nigerian guys don't know each other. Confirms the same thing. Third guy confirms the same thing. That's when Mama called me back and said, my son, you are speaking the truth. This is what I have discovered. But because Mama didn't want to pull out immediately from the church, she did it slowly but surely. And also told her child, who happens to be the lady I was in a relationship with. Because these are Venda people, they understand each other in language very well. So Mama then left Joshua Ignla. My brother, Joshua Ignla is not a genuine man of God. I know people are going to attack you. They're going to attack me. Me and you, we've never even met in person. I'm speaking to you because I've been following your channel and I've seen that there is nothing wrong that you're saying. You're very honest. And people don't like the truth. These prophets, they've broken up marriages. This is a scheme, what they're doing. In my life, I've lost family members who, when I told them about Joshua Ignla, they never believed me. When I told them about Magaya, I've got a story about Magaya because remember this lady also went to Magaya's church in Zimbabwe. I've been there. At times as men, we do things to impress our women because we love them. A man who is in love is very obedient to his woman. That's why you find men who are in church today, yet their women are sleeping with these prophets. Let me tell you something, my brother. There's a lady in Vanderbilt Park called Lirat. I'll mention her name. She has a child with Shepherd Bushiri.